It's 6 p.m. on a Monday here in Korea. Welcome to our newscast. I'm Daniel Che. Let's begin with the headlines. To effectively discourage Pyongyang from any more provocative acts, members of the six-party denuclearization talks get set to convene emergency meetings. In step with South Korea's psychological warfare, an irritated Pyongyang turns on its own speakers to drown out propaganda broadcasts. Seoul prepares to retaliate just in case the regime takes it one step further. And with lawmakers still locking horns over redrawing the electoral map, candidates registered for the upcoming general elections are running blind without knowing their constituencies, a first in Korean history. Nations involved in the long-stalled six-party nuclear talks are set to meet and discuss response measures against North Korea's fourth nuclear test this week. Seoul's foreign ministry said Hwang Jun-guk, special representative for Korean Peninsula Peace and Security Affairs, will sit down with his U.S. counterpart Sung Kim and Japanese counterpart Kimihiro Ishikane in Seoul on Wednesday. On Thursday, Hwang is expected to meet with China's top nuclear envoy Wu Dawei in Beijing. A date is also being set for bilateral talks between Hwang and his Russian counterpart. With the international community looking to push forward with sanctions after North Korea's recent nuclear test, all eyes are on China, the North's closest ally, as it now appears to be revealing more details on its position. According to sources Monday, China will cooperate closely with other countries in adopting a new UN Security Council resolution against Pyongyang, but only in a manner that helps in securing peace on the Korean peninsula. While experts say China's criticism of the nuke test is stronger than in the past, Beijing seems to be leaning towards adopting a two-track approach. The presidential office announced that President Park Geunhye will address the nation on Wednesday morning. She will outline her policy direction for this year and discuss response to Pyongyang's latest provocation. We connect to our Song Ji-sun at Cheongwade for more. Ji-sun, the announcement came as a bit of a surprise, didn't it?
Right, Danielle. The president's spokesperson told reporters this morning that President Park will deliver a statement and hold press conference on Wednesday morning. This is her third press conference and a fifth statement to the nation, but it's the first time she's holding two events at the same time, indicating the importance of her message and the situation. The format and the contents have not been released, but her statement will likely include the administration's response to Pyongyang's claim of a successful hydrogen bomb test last week, possibly shifting the approach to the north. President Park has called on the nation to carry on with business as usual and pledged to closely cooperate with the international community to sternly respond to North's latest provocation.
현재 정부는 국제사회와 긴밀히 공조하면서 강력하고도 필요한 대응 조치를 취해 나가고 있습니다. 이런 상황에서 정말 중요한 것이 국민의 단합입니다.
She will also call for swift approval of economy-related bills at the National Assembly to revitalize the economy through reforms and restructuring.
앞으로 어떤 대치 상황이 올지 모르므로 정치권에서는 모든 정쟁을 멈추고 국민의 안위를 위해 다 같이 힘을 모아주시기 바랍니다.
President Park's statement and the New Year's press conference will come just a day before the annual policy briefing that starts on Thursday. Park will seek to ease the nation's concerns regarding the North threats and win support for her policy initiatives heading into her fourth year in office. Back to you.
All right, thank you for those updates, Ji-sun. Turning back to the defense front, Seoul's military officials say there appears to be no immediate threat of retaliation from the north following Seoul's resumption of anti-Pyongyang broadcasts at the border. The regime did put up their own speakers to drown out the broadcast. Oh Se-young gives us the latest.
It has been 4 days since South Korea resumed its anti-Pyongyang broadcast campaign through 11 loudspeakers along the inter-Korean border. Blasting contents ranging from developments in South Korea, news from around the world and even K-pop. The measure was taken after the North conducted its fourth nuclear test last Wednesday as a form of psychological warfare against the communist state.
While there might not be immediate psychological impact, if the broadcasts play continuously, North Korean soldiers or residents may start questioning the regime. That's why the South's loudspeaker campaign is what the North's regime fears the most.
Seoul's military officials say Pyongyang initially countered with its own propaganda broadcasts using 2 loudspeakers, but has now expanded the number to match the south in each location. Officials added that North Korea's speakers have low output, which leads them to believe that the purpose is to merely prevent the South's broadcast from being heard.
With the North's power shortage and outdated broadcast technology, it may not be as effective.
Seoul's defense ministry says there are no signs of immediate threat from the north, but South Korean troops along the border are on the highest state of alert. The ministry added that if North Korea decides to attack the speakers, it will retaliate with more than triple the force. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.
South Korea is imposing stronger entry restrictions at the Kaesong industrial complex in response to the North's nuclear test. But there's concerns the measure will only exacerbate pending issues at the joint factory zone. Our Connie Kim has this report.
More South Korean citizens will be limited from entering the inter-Korean Kaesong industrial complex as part of Seoul's additional measures against Pyongyang following a 4th nuclear test last week.
South Korea plans to allow the minimum number of South Koreans into Kaesong Industrial Complex starting from Tuesday, January 12th, after considering the safety of our citizens.
This means South Koreans working at the complex will be reduced to the minimum level, and subcontractor employees will not be able to spend the night inside the joint park. The ministry expects the number of people coming in and out of the Kaesong industrial zone to decrease to some 650 people from about 800. Seoul's stronger measures follow an announcement on Thursday. A day after North Korea claimed a successful hydrogen bomb test, entry at the joint industrial park was limited to South Korean businessmen and those directly involved in operations. But some North Korea observers worry such measures may be too extreme considering Pyongyang did not create additional tensions on the Korean peninsula following its nuclear test.
It's better for the government to maintain normal operations at the park unless North Korea poses a threat to people who come in and out of the complex. The government must be prudent in pressuring Pyongyang with the Kaesong industrial complex.
The Kaesong Industrial Complex is the last remaining symbol of inter-Korean economic cooperation. The two Koreas logged a trade volume of $2.4 billion in 2014. Pyongyang reportedly earns about $100 million annually operating the complex. It remains to be seen whether additional limitations will be put on the Kaesong Industrial Complex. But many North Korea watchers in Seoul say any decisions regarding operations at the park will have to be made cautiously as it'll be detrimental to both Koreas. Connie Kim, Arirang News.
South Korea's National Assembly kicked off its January extraordinary session on Monday, but rival parties continued to wrangle over the passage of contentious bills and a new electoral map. Our Ji Myung-gil has more.
The ruling Saenuri Party has become increasingly intent on passing government-led economic bills in January, as December's extra session yielded little progress.
In January's extra session, economic bills to help revitalize our economy along with labor reform bills must be passed. The economic bills will help Korean companies do business and help create more jobs. There's no reason to oppose.
Lawmakers have been unable to tackle economic bills aimed at promoting growth in the service sector, easing regulations to allow industry-wide restructuring and anti-terrorism legislation. They also delayed passage of a bill calling for the improvement of human rights in North Korea. However, the opposition Minju Party of Korea is more focused on the current absence of local constituencies, as the electoral map for the April 13th general election has yet to be drawn.
We must settle the electoral district matter first, as the current electoral map became invalid at the end of last year. We will be flexible in our approach and continue discussions with the ruling bloc.
The main sticking point is how proportional representatives will be elected, with the ruling party pushing for reduction in the number of proportional representative seats. For the first time in history, candidates seeking a parliamentary seat in the 20th National Assembly are jockeying for position ahead of elections without knowing their constituencies. Ji Myung-gil, Arirang News.
Sticking with local politics, slightly more than 90 days before April 13th general election takes place, with a new party taking shape and imposing its presence, Shin Se-min outlines what to expect in the months ahead in the ever-changing Korean political landscape.
The main opposition Minju Party of Korea is shrinking, with Kim Kwan-yong announcing his defection on Monday. A total of 11 lawmakers, including political maverick An Chol-soo, have left the party. The list continues to grow. Kwon No-gap, the Minju Party's advisor, and a dozen more lawmakers are planning to leave the opposition bloc, most of them disappointed by Moon Jae-in's leadership. Just yesterday, An Chol-soo formed his own liberal bloc, the People's Party, promising to create new politics by the people and for the people. Chun Jung-bae, a former Minju Party lawmaker, is also gathering support with his coalition called the National Congress, and Park Ju-san unveiled a tentatively named party called the United New Party. The majority of the lawmakers defected represent the Honam region, considered the heart of the Minju Party. Most of them are shifting towards An's new party, further weakening the Minju Party and empowering the People's Party. Support from Honam region is crucial as it holds a key to the outcome of the general elections. An's new party, the People's Party, is quickly establishing itself and amassing strength, with some even speculating it could potentially replace the main opposition party.
If the People's Party continues to gain support, it's likely that the balance of power will shift to An's new Liberal bloc.
With just 93 days left until the April's parliamentary election, experts say the shift in the political landscape is expected to continue, but it remains uncertain how things will pan out. Shin Se-min, Arirang News.
Finance Minister Nominee Yoo Il-ho said during his confirmation hearing that Korea will see growth in the 3% range this year, even without the help of a government stimulus package. For details, we turn to our Hwang Ji-hye.
Korea will be able to reach its 3.1% growth target this year without drawing up a supplementary budget. That's what Finance Minister Nominee Yoo Il-ho said during his confirmation hearing on Monday. But as the economy continues to face lingering uncertainties at home and abroad, like the slowing Chinese economy and the U.S. Federal Reserve's rate hike, Yoo said he will take all possible measures to prop up the recovery momentum seen in the second half of last year.
I will do my best to further boost the economy and fight against risks through measures like front-loading the state budget in the first quarter this year.
Yoo added that structural reforms in 4 sectors, labor, education, finance, and the public, are critical to the government's ability to reach its growth target, and he pledged to pour his efforts into persuading the main opposition party to pass a series of pending economy-related bills. Despite Yoo's rosy growth projections, skepticism remains over Korea's ability to hit the 3% target, with major foreign investment banks predicting an expansion of 2.6% on average. With that, experts say Korea is at a crossroads between falling into a cycle of Japan-style deflation and moving closer to adding itself to the list of advanced economies. And in such crucial times, pundits question whether Yoo will be able to show the same sort of leadership the current Finance Minister Choi Kyung-hwan has exhibited during his term, as Yoo's policies are built around those of Choi. Hwang Ji-hye, Arirang News.
Turning our eyes to the stock market now, Korean shares closed lower on Monday, with the benchmark index falling below the psychologically significant 1900 level. The Kospi shed nearly 1.2%, falling to its lowest level in 4 months, as lingering concerns over China continue to rattle investors. The local currency closed at about 1,210 won against the US dollar, the lowest level in 5.5 years. Shares also closed lower in China, with the Shanghai Composite Index down more than 5%. This comes after data shown that Beijing's consumer price growth posted its lowest level in 6 years last year. Wall Street also recorded losses on Friday, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 closing down over 1%. Markets around the globe have been in turmoil due to a stock rout in China over concerns of slowing growth in the world's second largest economy. And we've come to the end of this hour's newscast. For more updates, do tune in at 10 p.m. Korea time for News Center with Geunhye. For now, thank you for watching.